In the future, the technology I will use to stay ahead of the competition will be the internet on my laptop. Using the internet has many benefits to staying ahead of the competition. For example, I can use Facebook and Twitter to spread the word to all my friends, family, and people worldwide. The internet is the fastest way to stay ahead of the competition since most of the people in the world use the internet every day of the week all year long. So with that being said, I can use the internet to present and share my work or information with the world faster and much more easier compared to how things were in the past before the internet was created. Overall, I believe that one of the best ways to staying ahead of the competition in the future is by the unlimited use of the internet. The internet is one of the biggest places to meet new people, share information, advertise, and do a lot within a matter of minutes. This is how I plan on staying ahead of the competition in the future. In the future. In the future. In the future.
One thing you can do to stay ahead of the competition is to use the most recent software. For example, I'm in recording arts, so I have to use Pro Tools 10 as my most recent software to stay up to date. Another way to stay ahead of the competition is to use the most recent products or tools in your industry. So, since I'm in recording arts, the most recent product that I can use is the Inbox Mini. Besides staying up to date with the technology, software, and products, you also need to have these characteristics in order to stay ahead of the competition. In order to stay ahead of the competition, you need to have these characteristics. You need to be creative because people are looking for the next big creative thing. You have to be innovative because people want something new and you have to be able to produce that. You also have to be interactive because you have to be able to contact and work with other people in order to make successful projects. In order to stay ahead of the competition, there's plenty of resources out there that you can use, such as the internet and certain Web 2.0 tools. You can also use social networks like Facebook and Twitter to stay ahead of the competition.
Hi, this is Mike McConnell from Team Alpha, reporting for duty here, and this is our little group podcast. Well, it's not really a group podcast. This is my little part of the group podcast. But anyways, let's not split hairs. This is entitled "Staying Ahead of the Competition," and I'm going to share a few of these things, technological things that is, that help me keep my edge. Starters, there's my phone. It's a little Motorola Atrix phone, and no different than the millions of other, smartphones out there. But just the concept of being able to look up anything at the touch of a fingertip, and it helps me invaluably to keep my edge as a writer, because I'm able to take pictures of certain locations, and I'm able to look up any piece of conceivable information, and it helps me invaluably. And that's not even counting all the really cool add-ons that this thing is capable of supporting. And then we come to this beast, MacBook Pro 2011. I'm sure we're all familiar with it. Straight out of the box, this thing comes equipped with some great technology and software, like the iMovie, GarageBand, your iTunes. These things are all invaluable tools in helping and editing your projects, and just, quite simply, just staying ahead of the competition. Because, let's face it, it's a MacBook. Can't get much better than that. Alright, well this is Mike McConnell signing off, but before I go, I want to leave everyone with a little bit of nostalgia and, something new for the youngsters. Just consider yourself lucky that you don't have to face this sound every time you try to log into Full Sail.
In my opinion, the first thing that you need in order to stay ahead of the competition is to be familiar with the social networks such as Twitter, Facebook, and music websites such as SoundCloud, because they offer a way for you to get your music out to anybody in the world, basically. And I think it's really important to build a fan base through that, to communicate with people, and to just stay in touch and know what's going on. The next thing I think that is very important in staying ahead of the competition is utilizing the software that we have today. Such things as Logic Pro 9, Pro Tools 10. Those are just a couple things we get in the recording arts program here at Full Sail, so I think it's important to utilize such things and use them to make professional pieces of work. I think another way to stay ahead of the competition, and something that people overlook a lot, is to just have an actual plan of what you want to do in order to stay ahead of the competition. So whether that's your approach to social networking, whether that's your approach to using the software, whatever it is, the more you have an actual plan, the easier it is to get done. So far we've said that we need to utilize social networking. We also need to utilize the most current software, and we have to have a plan with anything that we do.
Hello everyone, my name is Denzel Adams and this is my podcast on staying ahead of the competition. Now I'm going to go over a couple of things in staying ahead of the competition, and the first one, we all know what it is. It is what? Social networks. Okay, now there's a lot of different ones, but I mainly use Twitter and Facebook to get my name out on up and coming projects and what I'm doing around. So use that. Next, we have phones. I have an iPhone. Everyone that I'm seeing has an iPhone, so it's easier for me to keep in contact with most people with all the apps that iPhone has. Next, we have networking. You have to get your name out no matter what or who you're talking to. Get your name out. Next, you have to stay up on what's new. Whether it's studio equipment, or it could be photographic equipment, or it can even be new software. So please stay on top of that. And again, this has been Denzel Adams and my podcast on staying ahead of the competition. Thank you.